Welcome to the Virgin London Marathon Show, and I'm joined by two very special guests, Nick Anderson and Phoebe Thomas. It's lovely to have you here from Running With Us. Many of you will know Phoebe as Nurse Kendall from Holby City, but that's kind of like quite a sort of distant past now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was a while ago that I left, and I've been cracking on with other acting jobs, but hugely cracking on with Running With Us and coaching and personal training and various bits like that. So yeah, it's going well.
I mean, it's lovely, and it's amazing the way you've kind of embraced running as a huge passion, and you happen to be quite good at it as well, which always helps. And you're looking so fit and well. You've just come back from Portugal, you were saying, with a camp with all your guys that you're training at the moment. So
yeah, we went out to Portugal. We were really lucky actually, because we have a partnership with Mike Grattan and 209 Events. So we did 10 days of coaching for him and his team, which was great fun. And then we had 10 days of our own guys who we sort of personally coached, coming out and sort of spending a week to 10 days of sort of a focus type camp with us. And it was right in the Algarve, sunshine, as you can tell, and it was
looking a bit really too nice.
Healthy. It's a guilty way to make a living, really, but it's wonderful to jump out of bed and be with runners all day long who you know, and they're inspiring as much as we're trying to help them with their running. So it was great fun.
And Phoebe, unfortunately, you're not going to race this weekend, are you? Just got a little op that you've got to have. So you disappointed not to run?
I was actually, I was targeting another marathon. I was actually targeting Brighton Marathon, who we actually now do a lot of work with commentary-wise and things like that. So it was annoying. As much as I loved helping out there, of course it was frustrating standing there knowing that I wasn't running. It always is. But I'm cross-training my off and still able to run, still running, still doing 45-minute runs, 60-minute runs. But yeah, just waiting to get over this little hiccup. And once I have, I'll be out there pounding the streets. Yeah.
And long-term goals are to do another marathon for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love my 5Ks, 10Ks, and going up to the half. I do love that. So for the rest of this year, I'll concentrate on that. But I'll definitely do a spring marathon next year. Definitely.
So Nick, you've actually got some guys running on Sunday, haven't you? Tell us a little bit about your main guys that you've got running.
Yeah, I mean, we had Lucy McAllister finish second at Brighton last weekend, which was great because Lucy, she's a year into being a mum. I know that's going to be a big relevant return for you soon as well, and it just proves it can be done a year later or less than a year later. And she ran really well to run just outside 2:40. And then this weekend we've got Tom Paine, who's been out in Kenya and been looked after by Peter McHugh and the Run Fast crew out there, and it's been brilliant, the whole story there, the Tom Paine story. So Tom's running on Sunday, and we really wish him all the best. It'd be lovely to see him go under 2:15 and actually get close to 2:12. So let's see how he gets on. And then we've got loads of our guys running on Sunday who we sort of coach like we do with Tom, who are everyday runners, as it were. And gosh, there's some stories there. We've got people wanting to break sub 3, we've got guys wanting to go sub 2:30, we've got people running their first marathon in 4 hours or 5 hours and raising big money for charity as well. But people that all want to run PBs and are still performance driven, and it's a lovely thing. And Phoebe's got people she's coaching, helping there. And of course then beyond there we've got runners that we've advised through the charities over the last few months and through businesses, and suddenly you find yourself stood there and you feel responsible for hundreds of people, which is wonderful. So it's a great weekend and it's a great buzz, and we wish everyone all the best. We will be a little bit nervous Sunday morning, because you always are from a coaching point of view, but you know what, get out there and have some fun. It's going to be great.
How different is it from your career as an actress? Obviously you still are an actress, but it was very much your kind of day job when you were in Holby City. How different is it, and how easy has it been adapt to sort of a runner and a stroke coach?
Gosh, I think the running I was always doing alongside Holby, so the adaptation to that's been lovely, because I'm not doing 12 hours on set every day and I've got more time to train. The coaching, in some ways there hasn't been that much of an adaptation, because it's similarly kind of erratic. Do you know what I mean? You're not, although we have our definite Tuesday sessions we're doing with guys and the definite sessions you're doing with young athletes, in terms of the one-to-ones, you never know how many you're going to be doing every week. You never know what hiccup's going to happen with the guys that you're coaching. You don't know what email's going to come in, what phone call's going to come in. So it's all very, the training days are sometimes we're in Bristol, sometimes we're at Windsor, sometimes we're in Brighton. It's similarly kind of up and down. So in a weird way, I think it would have been stranger going from full-time at Holby into a 9-to-5 office job. Do you know what I mean? I'm loving it. I'm loving balancing the two, and I'm still kind of auditioning and doing bits of acting work here and there, but just nothing as ongoing as Holby. So for me, it's amazing because it's my two passions, and I'm managing to kind of juggle two careers. Which,
how easy would it be to leave this behind now? Say if a job, a big sort of job was to come up, which took you back to acting day to day.
I would still be doing this alongside it, absolutely. I mean, the guys that we coach online, so our core kind of guys from running with us, I make sure that I don't take on too many people, so that however long and the next acting job goes on for, I can still give them the time that they need. So we balance it, don't we, so that I can kind of do the both. And it's great. The fact that obviously we're together, Nick and myself, it means that I can duck out and do a little less, and he can take over and do a bit more, and it's perfect.
It's a good partnership, isn't it? It's a very good partnership. Nick, the race on Sunday, as most people know who know a little bit about marathon, is probably one of the most important things about getting through a marathon. Is not just the training but the nutrition, and not just on the day, but way back months before when the guys out there, the athletes, the 5-hour marathon runners right down to the 2 and a little bit more, start their training. It is so much about nutrition, and that is so important, isn't it?
Well, I mean, let's put a grenade in there straight away. We were chatting, weren't we, off this recording beforehand, saying, gosh, we all met recently and we were having fish and chips in Brighton, and we were sort of laughing about it. And you know what? For me, that sums it up. Actually, one of the beauties of running is that I can eat all of those foods and not worry about it. I need to just enjoy life. And we meet a lot of people even here who are worrying about nutrition all the time, and our motto is very, very simple to everyone, and that is, never hungry but never over full, and have a good breakfast, have a good lunch, evening meal, but you know what, snack in between. We see too many runners not eating enough, and then not snacking on good carbohydrate, good quality complex carbohydrate snacks throughout the day. So they have long windows and they get hungry, and then the blood sugars drop, the glycogen stores are poor, and performance isn't good. They also don't eat well enough after they've trained, so they're not getting the right carbohydrate and protein in really quickly. You're almost within 5 minutes of finishing training, they're not doing that, so then they never fully recover from the training, and we see this sort of downward sort of trend rather than the energy always being good and high. And then similarly, we were both talking about when you're doing lots of training, sometimes you get to a point where you almost just can't eat enough because you've got to fuel that running, and that's a really important point. And a lad I coached called Steve Scullion summed this up brilliantly recently. We were in the Algarve, and somebody said, I won't eat that because I don't want to put any weight on, and I'm a bit worried about it. And we then Steve just cut in and he said, you know what, you should never worry about this. As far as I'm concerned, you've trained, and all that matters now is that you have this big window when you're going to eat, and it is simply a case of training and then refueling. Don't ever look at putting weight on. Look at it that you're actually refueling the body for the next bit of work it does. So for the guys here running the marathon, I'd hope you've snacked and eaten well over the last few months and you've not had any moments of deficit and struggling. I'd really hope as well that this week you're just eating normally, and even if you're doing less training, which you should be, you're still eating really well. You're not suddenly making that mistake of eating less because you think you're running less. The last 48 hours, I'd start to personally reduce the amount of protein I eat, because I'm probably not going to need as much protein on race day, but that's a personal thing. And certainly the evening before the race, I'll be eating and grazing more on carbohydrates, rices and pastas and so on. But I wouldn't change much, keep it simple and just do what works for you normally.
I think the biggest mistake people often make before the day before the marathon, everyone's going carbo load, carbo load, carbo load, and people sit down at dinner and have 4 bowls of pasta, 5 bread rolls and a couple of bowls of cereal for good measure, and then you go to bed feeling really, really bloated, and you wake up not feeling normal, because when would you ever do that in training? And it is all about grazing and snacking the day before, and like Nick said, cutting out the protein and just replacing it with the carbs, but making sure you're snacking. You watch people walking around here at the expo and you're sort of thinking, oh guys, get off your feet now, go and rest and just sit down and snack and graze on some good carbs, because I think you can get carried away here. And
really sound advice, I think, and it's kind of logical, and and it's exactly as you said, Phoebe. You don't want to go and have this mammoth meal the day before, because your body can't go with it. It doesn't normally digest that amount of food. So how's it going to do it?
And on race day, have the breakfast that you've practiced with your long runs. It's really logical. Don't change anything, and take it with you if you're going to stay in a hotel, because you can bet your bottom dollar the hotel doesn't do your favourite breakfast. So literally take it with you and eat that the morning of the race. Keep the timings of that the same. Maybe snack an hour before if you know you're going to be out for quite a long time in the race as well, because if you're going to be a 4 or 5 hour marathon runner, if you have your breakfast 3 or 4 hours before, at that last hour of the race, it's probably 7 hours since you last ate, and that's really important. So snacking before your race will be an important factor. Then race itself, if you normally take gels and you've practiced it, do that. If you're used to taking the Lucozade Sport for the London Marathon, then you take it at the intervals you practice in training. Stay hydrated, but a lot of people drink too much. There's a big worry out there these days where every water station becomes a feast, and we almost go around with our stomachs swelling with the water. And of course there is a dangerous side with hyperlatremia and people drinking too much and actually flushing all the salts out of the system. So you're going to get a little bit dehydrated. Manage that, but at the same time, don't comfort drink. You don't need that much. You really don't.
And I think that we're looking at the weather conditions on Sunday, which are going to be nice. They're probably going to be quite ideal marathon running conditions. So it's going to be warm but not too hot. So the plan is to stick to what you've kind of been doing really over the last few weeks, especially as we've seen a rise in temperature.
Wind does come from the east, so it's behind you going along the embankment in the last 10k. You've kind of hit the jackpot here. The conditions are good, so you don't need to panic. Just keep it simple. It's like doing one of your Sunday runs. It just happens to be the best Sunday run you've done.
35,000 other people.
with a huge amount of friends. But then when else do you go out for a long run and get hundreds of thousands of people cheering you on? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? So enjoy the day.
So, and you guys have also linked up with Saucony, your company Run With Us, and Saucony. You're both now ambassadors.
Yeah, we're their UK coaching partners, so we're really excited about that. They're just really trying to get more information out there, so more kit, not just about kit but about coaching as well. So we're really helping them with that. We've got a nice little competition running here, actually, haven't we?
Yeah, you can win a free coaching place with us if you go to the Saucony stand and pick up one of the flyers and fill it in, and that's a great prize. But the thing with Saucony is they're a real running brand. They've been involved in running for years and years. They're big in America. They're getting bigger and bigger here in the UK now. They're obviously associated with the Brighton Marathon as well. But they're really serious. They've got some good US guys in the race this year, which is great. They've come over to support the London Marathon and really take it on, which is good. And I just feel that as a running brand, they're very serious about the sport, and that's great for us, because it's important to us that we work with people that are passionate about the sport and serious about it at the same time.
Saucony's always been known as one of those very sort of pure running brands.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good fit, and go and try the shoes on, making sure it's one of the shoes you try the next time you're in a shop. Again, try on the other brands as well and see what suits you best.
It's lovely talking with you guys. Runningwithus.com is the name of your website, so if people want to know more, they can go to runningwithus.com. And Phoebe, Nick, it's lovely to talk to you. We talked with you a few months ago, and both looking really well. It's lovely to see you both doing really well, and the company's going well, and you're fit and healthy, and we look forward to catching up hopefully next year with another good marathon under your belt.
Thank you. We love what we do, and good luck to you in the next few weeks with the birth of whoever.
I don't need luck. Thank you.
Thank you.